You know what separates a good boat from a great boat? It's not the teak decks, it's not the fancy electronics. It's what's down in that engine room, turning that prop day after day, year after year, decade after decade. I'm talking about those engines that just won't quit. The ones where mechanics shake their heads in disbelief at the hour meter, the ones that can outlast their boats with proper care, the ones that make you wonder if the engineers who designed them really understood what longevity means. Today we're counting down the top 5 boats with truly legendary engines. These aren't just reliable power plants. These are engines that have earned strong reputations among boaters worldwide. Engines that, with the right maintenance and care, simply refuse to die. So whether you're looking at the used boat market or you're just curious about what makes these mechanical marvels tick, stick around. Because what you're about to hear might just change how you think about marine engines forever. Before we dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe in order to support the channel. Coming in at number 5, we have the Nordhavn 40 trawler with the Lugger L668 diesel. And folks, this is where things get interesting. Now, the Nordhavn 40 isn't just any trawler. This is the boat that proved you could circle the globe in a compact vessel. And what made that possible? A marinized John Deere diesel known as the Lugger L668D. Here's where your eyebrows should raise. The manufacturer claims that an engine life of 30,000 hours is not uncommon with these luggers, and that some installations have reached up to 85,000 hours. Now, those are marketing claims, so take them with appropriate skepticism, but they do speak to the robust agricultural roots of this engine. Let me put 30,000 hours in perspective for you. That's running continuously for over 3 years. And even if we're talking about the more conservative real-world experiences, these engines have a reputation for exceptional longevity. This is a heavy 6-cylinder, 105 horsepower continuous duty engine that's typically operated at modest RPM in cruising mode. It's not breaking a sweat, it's just doing what John Deere tractors have done for generations, running all day, every day, in all conditions. Owners report cases of 10,000 plus hours, and many feel the engine still had substantial life left at that point. The secret? These engines come from agricultural machinery, designed to run full-time on farms. While the base engine has agricultural roots, remember that the marine installation still needs proper cooling, exhaust, and shaft drive maintenance. Many owners report no major overhauls beyond routine maintenance, though, as always, condition and history matter tremendously. Keep up with your oil changes, maintain your cooling system properly, run them within proper limits, and these engines can give you decades of reliable service. For anyone planning to cross oceans or live aboard full-time, an engine with this kind of track record provides genuine peace of mind. At number 4, we're talking about modern sailboats, specifically the Hunter Passage 42 and its Yanmar diesel engine. Now, if you've spent any time around sailing communities in the last 30 years, you've heard the Yanmar name. Yanmar is widely regarded in the sailing community for reliability, and for good reason. Many of the 1990s Hunter Passage 42 models were fitted with the Yanmar 4 JH2TE, approximately 51 horsepower. And the numbers these engines put up are impressive. One liveaboard couple reported 6,700 hours on their Yanmar, still running perfectly. Their certified Yanmar mechanic told them it's not unusual to see these engines running flawlessly at 10,000 hours with proper maintenance. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Some owners report 10,000 plus hours and believe the engine still had life left, while 20,000 plus hours are exceptional. They're not unheard of with meticulous care. So what's the secret? High quality design meets diligent maintenance. Yanmar's marine engines are essentially marinized industrial engines, the same kind used in tractors and generators. They're designed as extreme duty, high-speed diesels meant to run all day long. The key is following the maintenance schedule religiously. Regular oil changes, cooling system care, and this is important, cleaning those heat exchangers and replacing exhaust elbows when needed. The exhaust elbow is actually a known weak point on Yanmars due to corrosion and potential water intrusion, so staying on top of that is critical. Avoid prolonged low-load idling that causes carbon buildup. Keep the engine loaded properly when you run it. Even older Yanmar models from the 1980s, the 2GM and 3GM series, are frequently found still running today in 40-year-old sailboats, though many have had major overhauls or partial rebuilds along the way. That's still an impressive 40-year track record. Combined with excellent global parts and service support, Yanmar engines have earned their reputation in the sailing community through decades of proven performance. Moving to number 3, we have a classic that's beloved by blue water sailors worldwide, the Westsail 32 with the Perkins 4.108 diesel. Now, the Westsail 32 is a rugged 1970s blue water sailboat famous for circumnavigations. It's built like a tank, and powering many of these ocean crossing vessels, the venerable Perkins 4.108, this 50 horsepower, 4-cylinder diesel has achieved legendary status in its era. Mechanics consistently rate it highly on reliability. Owners describe it as simple, reliable, and widely used. Many boats have crossed oceans with this diesel just chugging along. One owner noted their family's yacht went 11 years around the world on an original Perkins, and it was still running well when they finished. So what makes the Perkins 4.108 so durable? It was originally a British tractor and industrial engine built for hard use. It became ubiquitous in marine applications, installed in everything from tractors to generators, compressors, and pumps. Some owners suggest 10,000 to 15,000 hours are possible with good maintenance. But here's the beautiful part. In a sailboat, where it's used more intermittently, and at moderate load, a 4.108 can last even longer, provided it's loaded correctly and maintained properly. These engines are incredibly forgiving. They tolerate non-expert maintenance better than many modern engines. They can even run with minor issues. Oil leaks are common, but usually harmless. And parts? Still reasonably available worldwide, anywhere influenced by British manufacturing, though availability is slowly decreasing as these engines age. What really sets the Perkins apart is how straightforward it is to overhaul if needed. It's not unusual to find a 1970s era Westsail or Morgan sailboat still with its original Perkins 4.108 that fires up on the first try. Owners and boatyard mechanics of that era often call the 4.108 the gold standard of small marine diesels for its forgiving nature. Now, it's underpowered by today's standards for many cruisers, but for a displacement sailboat hull, it's proven itself time and again. In short, this engine's durability has made it the heart of many classic cruisers still voyaging today, half a century after they were built. At number 2, we're getting into some serious horsepower with the Hatteras 53 motor yacht and its Detroit Diesel 8V71 engines. If you know boats, you just heard that engine designation and either smiled or got a little misty-eyed. The Detroit Diesel 8V71, nicknamed Screaming Jimmy in trucking circles for its distinctive sound, is an absolute icon. Classic Hatteras motor yachts from the 70s and 80s commonly came with twin 8V71s, typically in the 300 to 450 horsepower range, depending on installation and whether they were turbocharged. Now here's what makes these engines special. They're V8 two-stroke diesels with commercial and industrial origins. We're talking city buses, heavy trucks, and industrial applications. When you put an engine designed for that kind of work into a yacht application, it brings serious durability. But let's be realistic here. The 71 series requires attention. They are loud, hence that Screaming Jimmy nickname. They consume more fuel and oil compared to modern diesels. They will burn and leak oil, and they need diligent maintenance. Now here's the important distinction. In naturally aspirated versions, the non-turbo natural engines, and with good care, some 71 series engines have reportedly exceeded 20,000 hours. But turbo versions typically need major work much earlier, often in the 3,000 to 7,000 hour range. So if you're looking at a Hatteras with turbo Detroits, understand that the maintenance schedule is more intensive than with naturally aspirated versions. Here's another advantage in the Hatteras. You've got twins. Even if one needs service, the other will get you home. That's the kind of redundancy that lets you sleep at night when you're cruising. Parts remain fairly available thanks to widespread historic use, though expect older engine issues like oil leaks and worn seals as they age. Numerous mechanics still know these engines inside and out. The Hatteras 53 with its Detroit engines has become emblematic of classic American yacht building. Many are still on the water with original power plants after decades of service, though they do require owners who understand and accept their maintenance needs. And now our number 1 spot goes to the Grand Banks 42 Classic with the Ford Lehman diesel. If there's one engine that defines the phrase "refuse to die" among trawler enthusiasts, it's the Ford Lehman 2715E 120 horsepower diesel. Grand Banks trawler yachts from the 60s through the 80s, particularly the 42 Classic, were often equipped with this engine. And when I say it has a reputation, I mean owners speak of it with genuine affection. They lovingly call the Lehman a great trawler engine that's been found in thousands of boats. This naturally aspirated 6-cylinder diesel, derived from a Ford truck engine, is described as that rare animal they really got right. Many owners believe with proper maintenance, a Lehman 120 can last 12,000 to 20,000 hours, or effectively outlast the boat in many cruising use cases. Some examples from the 1960s are still working today. Though that's not common, it speaks to exceptional maintenance and care when it happens. The secret is in the design philosophy. It makes 120 horsepower from a 6.22-liter displacement. That's conservative output, which means low stress and long service life. On a displacement trawler, the engine operates at moderate load, turning a slow prop, pushing the hull through the water at 8 or 9 knots. Of course, as with any installation, proper gearing, cooling, and maintenance are crucial. Exceeding 10,000 hours is reasonably common with good care. Some reach 15,000 to 20,000 hours in favorable conditions. The Lehman 120 became one of the most popular trawler engines of its era, largely because of this longevity potential. With basic maintenance, oil changes, coolant flushes, checking the raw water cooling system, maintaining the heat exchanger, these engines just keep chugging. Many Grand Banks trawlers have cruised for decades, crossing oceans, living at anchor, exploring coastlines, all powered by these proven workhorses. Now, a word of reality. Parts availability remains reasonable, but as these engines age, some items may require sourcing or specialist servicing expertise. The Ford Lehman business changed in the early 1990s, so you're not dealing with a current production engine. But the Ford Lehman represents everything that was great about that era of marine diesel engineering. Simplicity, robustness, and a conservative design that prioritized longevity over flashy performance numbers. So there you have it, 5 boats with engines that have earned their legendary status through decades of real-world service. The common thread, industrial roots, robust construction, modest speeds, and diligent maintenance by owners who understand their value. Remember, the hours I've mentioned are for well-maintained installations, not guarantees. Poor cooling, neglect, saltwater corrosion, or bad fuel can shorten any engine's life. These 5 engines represent the upper end of the typical 8 to 20,000 hour lifespan when properly cared for. They prove the old saying, take care of your engine and it will take care of you for a very long time. If you're shopping used boats, finding one of these with good maintenance records is a genuine treasure. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below about your experience with these legendary engines. I'd love to hear your maintenance routines and lessons learned. Until next time, keep your oil changed, your cooling system clean, and your sea stories honest. Fair winds.